Hey everyone, Newman here with 910, and today we have the installation of the Wildcat MK3 power plenum, or the 2.5 inch plenum. This is the package that you'll receive it in when you order it from me. So what this is going to do is it's going to increase your plenum by about 2.5 inches back here. It's just under 30 cc, I think it's like a 27 cc is what it increases it by. And what that does, instead of some of the other plenums that are available, actually just push the regulator farther into the tube. This one actually lengthens your tube, so your tube will be about 2.5 inches longer. Alright, so now I'm going to put the gun aside, I'm going to put the kit to the side, I'm going to show you what's inside of the kit. Okay, so inside the kit you'll have the plenum. As you can see here, it has a built-in regulator spacer, and it has a spot inside for the regulator spacer that's already inside the gun to fit. So that's the plenum. We'll get that from rolling. There we go. And then you'll notice there's two O-rings in there. There's a black one and then like a reddish or brown color one. The black one's the standard one that comes in the FX Airguns. It's a 23 by 2.5 NBR 70, which is a nitrile or a Bona type of rubber. Whereas this O-ring, the reddish brown color, is a 23 by 2.5 as well. But this is Viton, which is I apologize if I mispronounced this, but I believe it's a fluoroelastometer. That's that type of material that is. It's a much stronger type of O-ring that's supposed to last a lot longer. Sometimes in pneumatic events they have varied effects, so you get this one to be standard with the rest of the rifle, and you get this one just in case you're having issues with leak or the O-ring's popping out or something like that. Best to cover both worlds. Alright, now for a quick and easy, just to show you how to install this, there's only one O-ring groove. It's right here. And all it is you take the O-ring and you just pop it on, just like that. And it fits right into the groove. That's all it really is. You just pop it on and it's ready to install. So now we're going to switch back to the gun, and I'm going to show you how to actually install it into the air tube. Alright, so now we're back here to the rifle. The first step will be to take the rifle out of the stock. You're going to need a 3mm Allen in order to do that. And there's two screws. There's one back here and there's one up here. I recommend using a ball tip Allen in order to access this screw back here. Or else, yeah, a straight edge isn't going to be able to get to it. And a little L is going to take forever to get to it. So the ball end will be the best, and then the front you can use whatever you want. So I'm going to speed through me taking off the stock real fast. Okay, so now we are at the rifle without a stock on there. As you can notice, here's your regulator now, or your regular adjustment hole. You've got your air tube, you've got your air tube end, or this is the air tube connection, so it connects the air tube to the action. And this is the air tube end over here. This is where your gauge is. If you're going to be doing this, you need to have the rifle degassed. The best way to degas it on this model would be to loosen the regulator gauge slightly. If you have to do more than about one full turn around, then I wouldn't do more than that because you might blow the gauge, and you're just going to have to replace the O-rings on the regulator whenever you do it. And it's you just take an 11mm and you loosen this gauge down here at the end. In any case, I already have this rifle degassed, so we can skip that part and get to actually installing it on the air tube. Now, to remove the air tube from the rifle after it's degassed, we have to loosen these four screws right here. Once again, they are 3mm Allen, and you can use any type of Allen you want as long as it's a 3mm. Alright, so I'm going to speed through that real fast. Notice I did not remove the screws, I just loosened them. That's all that's needed. Now, you can turn the gun over. Actually, I'm right-handed, so see here, and it will just break free. Take that, set that up here. And now we're at the air tube. As I said, this is the air tube in. This is one solid piece on the Gen 2, which is what the MK3 Plenum is made for. It's for the Gen 2 MK3. There's 3 generations now. The first generation of the MK3, Wildcat MK3, had the MK2 air tube. So the MK2 Plenum works on that one. The Generation 2 Wildcat MK3 had this connection right here built in, which is a solid piece connection that has a regulator spacer built in, which I'm about to show you here real fast, but that required the redesign of the plenum. Now we're on Generation 3 of the Wildcat MK3, and with that they've actually added a mini plenum with a built-in brass regulator, so you don't have to worry about this. And with that one, there's still this connection, but there's no regulator spacer built in. So either the Wildcat or the Mark II or the Mark III plenum will work on the Generation 3. So back to here, back to the Generation 2. We're now going to remove this air tube in right here, this connection piece, in order to access the interior to install the plenum. In order to loosen the air tube connection piece, you will need a 15mm open-end wrench. Typically you can do it just by hand. You might have to put the tube in a soft jaw vise, but you should be able to do it by hand. Alright, and there we go. There's the air tube end, or the connection, air tube connection. As you can see it, the built-in regulator spacer, just like that's on the MK3 plenum. And then you've got your regulator down in there in the thread. So, I'm going to set this down and grab our MK3 plenum. So with that, you're going to take your connection and thread it into the back side here. It's going to get a little snug there at the end. That's the O-rings meeting the sealing surface. And then you're going to be able to take your plenum and install it to the air tube. We now have everything back together and it's ready to go on the gun. A quick note though, as you can tell, the regular screws in line with this hole here. Once you pressurize this, you will notice that the regulator adjustment screw does move slightly towards the plenum. Slightly, that's just due to a tolerance difference between some of the FX products and my plenum. But that's no worry. You should still be able to access that hole or the screw and to be able to adjust it properly, as well as there should be no leaks. If you do have any issues with it, please let me know and I will definitely take care of you. That's no problem at all. Okay, now to put it back onto the gun, I'm going to take it and slide it in and just hand tighten it. There we go, and now we're hand tight. With the installation of the plenum, if your regular adjustment was visible above the stock before, it may not be visible anymore. Different threads or different tubes thread align in different ways. So with that, this is not always going to line up the same. Another quick note here, as you'll notice, this air tube is now longer than the barrel. With that being said, you won't be able to use a normal moderator. You'll have to either use a skinny moderator like a Donnie FL Tonto or Donnie FL Koi, or you'll have to get a Donnie FL shroud extension in order to extend this out. As you can see here, it's just shy of just a little bit over 2 inches, just shy of 2 inches and a quarter, which is the Donnie FL shroud extension is 2 1/4 inches, so that's no problem at all. So if you get the Donnie FL shroud extension, you should be able to thread on a moderator at the end of that. I do believe the current shroud extension is an M20 thread on the beginning piece, so you will have to get the 1/2 inch to M20 bushing in order to make that work with your standard Wildcat MK3. Alright, and the last step would be to just tighten down these 4 screws right here so that they can clamp back onto the air tube, and then you can put the stock back on, and then the rifle is fully complete. And there you go, there's the installation of the 2.5 inch MK3 plenum. Like I said, this is for the Generation 2 of the Wildcat MK3. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section below, or feel free to shoot me an email. And as always, happy shooting.